My plan today is to share with you how to harvest wisteria vine and create a wisteria basket. My name is Liz Braidwood Fulmer. I'm a recreation program coordinator with the Hunterdon County Parks and Recreation Division. There are 10 species of wisteria in the United States. 2 are not as aggressive and native to the country, an American and Kentucky wisteria. 8 of the species are invasive and aggressive. They have been imported here as ornamental garden plants. Wisteria does look very beautiful. If it grows, people grow it over a trellis, and there's a beautiful flower that is a blue to a purple color. So one of the problems is if this wisteria actually escapes your garden, it will go out into the woods and strangle trees. It climbs up them, it becomes heavy, and it will knock trees down. The vines also grow straight across the ground in the forest, and there's hundreds of them, and they kind of make a mat, and this mat will make it impossible for other plants to grow. So it's not a material you want to let get out of your garden if you have it in your garden. But it does make a great basket material. It has long pieces. The vines can be 5 to 30 foot long, and they're very flexible. There's a group of them right here, and it's a woody vine, so it doesn't shrink in its diameter. So if you make a wisteria basket, it does get loose a little bit, but not near what some basket material will offer. So let's go collect some wisteria. Off to the woods. Welcome to our wisteria patch here at the Hunterdon County Arboretum. So you want to collect some heavier material for the base and spokes of your basket. You want to collect some little small thin weavers to use to start lashing and then twining your base together, and some medium-sized material to create the weavers for the sides of the basket. You find a patch. You want to look down and see the lines that run this material, the wisteria, and then you'll pull, and one end will be loose, and you can pull it out and then follow it to its source and snip it off. Okay. And then you want to remove any leaves. Oh, this one would be good to peel because you've already got the start of it, so you could peel this. Okay. Wisteria bark is actually good to use for making cordage, which is one of the next videos I'd like to do. Right. And then you coil it up. Taking the start, bringing it through, bring this around. This is actually a short piece. So you see there, it does have a little disease right in that area. It's going to make it weak. Probably not as good to use, but it'll get used for something. Some people like to leave the roots on the vine, and they make an interesting accent in your basket. Again, coil this up. So you can transfer it back to your studio. Okay, let's start making a basket. We have a sample here. So you want to make take the thicker material of the wisteria and make it larger than the basket size that you would like to make. You want to take an awl and impale in the center of the material, go straight through. You want to wiggle your awl. Be careful, this is it's a bit of a dangerous tool. You want to be careful. And then you want to take your pointed spokes and push them through. Until you have 3 pieces. So once you've gotten your 3 spokes impaled into your other 3 spokes, you want to take a thin piece of wisteria and lash these together. So you put the end in between, right? So right in there. And then you're going to take your weaver and go over, it's over 3, under 3, over 3, under 3. And you want to do this same exact weave. See, it repeats the weave for 5 rounds, and this is called lashing. You're lashing your spokes together, and you want it to lay next to the previous one. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And now you want to bring another weaver in, and you're going to twine. I'm going to bring this one over there and under 1. And at this point, you're trying to separate these spokes so that they will splay out. Take your other weaver, bring it in. So now you've got 2 weavers coming from behind 2 consecutive spokes. You take the one to the left, it goes over the one it's leaning on, outside, and then back into the basket, and with your thumb you go under this next one and hold it in place. Drop it off, take the one to the left, it goes over the spoke that it's leaning on, under the next spoke. You want to splay that out a little bit because these are trying to get them separated. And then drop it off. Again, I put my thumb on it. Take the back one, goes over, under, back into the basket. Okay, when I say back in, I mean into the center. So what happens is these weavers actually make an X in between the spokes. Again, 2 coming out from behind 2 consecutive spokes. Take the one to the left, over, under, back into the basket. So the wisteria is bendable because it's green, it's freshly cut, and it still has moisture in it. If it were to be dry, you would have to soak the material for 10 minutes to a half an hour, depending on the material, to get it to be pliable again. So you weave around and around and around in a twine until you come to the outside of your spokes, as wide as you'd like your basket to be. At this point, we're going to add the uprights, the other spokes. There's a number of components. This is your base. Your spokes will be coming out of that, and you'll be weaving around and around with weavers. And then at the top of the basket is the rim, which will be our final section. So at this point, again, you want to take your awl and open up the space next to your previous spoke piece, and you might have to cut your piece into a point so that it will slide in easier, and slide it in there nice tight. Okay, so I point the ends, open up the other side of that spoke with my awl, and then insert this new spoke. First you want to take your scissors, put them nice and push in a little bit so that you get it in far, and cut that end off. And I usually just do that as I go along after I've gotten my additional spokes in. That way it can't bounce back out and cause you problems. Okay, now that we have our additional spokes in, we're going to start to do is again twine. So you need 2 pieces of material. One will go behind one spoke. Okay, come out from behind that. And one will go behind the next spoke. You want to take the back one, hold them tight with your left hand, and take the back one, the one to the left. It goes over, under, just like before. Put a clamp on there to hold it in place while I'm working. You can use a clothespin. When you're twining, the ends kind of get tangled, so you have to stop and untangle them every once in a while. So I'm going around my second row. So I've come back up to the start, all the way around, back up, and now I'm starting on my second row. Wisteria is a great material. It's flexible, it's strong, it's smooth. Basket materials, naturals become brittle. This has not really become brittle. Okay, I've now done 2 complete rows, and it's time to upset the basket. You're a silly basket! No, not like that. You want to take the basket base and bring it towards your body, and then take your left hand and press up on the spokes gently, because you don't want them to break. And then again do the twining, but now you're twining on the side of the basket versus the bottom, so it's your positioning that will help turn the spokes up in the air. It also has to do with the tension in your weave, and you want the spokes to go straight up and down. So I'll push it up, make my twine, okay, and then push it up, and my left arm is cradling, and I actually use my stomach also, kind of press the other side of it to your stomach, and gently turn the basket up. Okay, so one of your weaver's ends, you should cut it so it will end inside the basket, because we're going to turn the basket up this direction. So this is the inside. And then you take your new weaver and you just place it in where that other one would have come out of. So you see this previous one would have come out here. You push it in there, and it's just an extension of the spoke, the weaver that you already had in there. Okay, so some people like to cut the roots off, but you can leave them on. Looks like a hairy beard, depending on what you're looking for in your basket. Okay, and we're going to keep pressing your tension up in the air, turning, and you're weaving on the side of the basket, not the bottom anymore. Part of the way you turn up is to pull these spokes back. You see how when I pulled that back, it went straight up further, higher? Okay, so when you pull this back, it moves it that direction, and that helps turn the basket up. After 3 rows of twining, your sides should be standing up in the air like this, and again nicely separated from each other and in the same plane around in a circle. We don't want ones way in here or way out here. You keep them in the same plane. When you've woven up to the side to the height that you'd like, you can add another set of pieces. You could actually put 2 in if you wanted to, whatever type of rim you want to do. We're just going to do a simple rim. You want to take the spoke that's in front of you, put it back behind the next spoke, come out of the basket and gently turn it down. This spoke goes behind the next spoke, comes out of the basket and gently down. Okay, you want to do that all the way around the basket. It's called behind one and out, behind one and out. And then you come back to the first one and you're going to go take the end of this spoke, bring it around, behind, and out, and you've completed the first step on your rim. Next, you're going to take one of the spokes and pull it up in the air, and you create a hole right underneath there. Okay, it's in the you're going to put your spoke into the same hole that this piece is coming out of. So you want to, you might cut it shorter. Okay, and then I bend it carefully because it's natural material. You go gentle and push it there. So this is drop off this spoke, pick up this one, bring this one in, drop off this one, pick up this one goes in there. Ta-da! You've made your first wisteria basket out of natural materials. You could also use shoots in the spring from different trees. And this is willow. Again, I have some bark in here, seagrass, raffia. So there's lots of different materials. Here's another one that has some different materials in it. Kind of looks like a bird's nest. Well, I'm hoping that the next time we do a video on cordage, where you take barks and twist them and create a cordage, and then after that we're going to do a dandelion on iris leaves. So